Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Total Annihilation replay. It's very good to be back here. Thanks to this super fancy coof, as some people have been calling it. I haven't been able to, get out and be able to get this put together. I've also been pretty busy. Definitely not the most exciting, but I know I got to pick a good one. I got to pick a long one since we're all trapped inside during this very, very exciting and exhilarating times. So today, I have OZ Coolnick versus FFAxPostal, myself, and I am Postal, your core commander and host of today's episode. And Nick is a really fun guy to play with. Tip and I were actually reminiscing. He was a good player all around, pretty good, and he was just really, really fun guy to play with. So the map here is Brain Coral. This is the first one we're showing here, where this is an all sea map, and you can see that I'm core, as always, and Nick is arm. This is an IGW on Phoenix Worx, and we were reminiscing about what it's like to beat someone who is higher ranked than you the first time you actually win in a galactic war game and claim a planet for your side, either arm or core. You can see what Nick has done here is hasn't even capped any metal, and he's just gone 2 titles, and he is building a skeet. He's planning on skeet rushing me. I've done much the same. I went 2 titles, and I'm pushing out my searchers. Now, one of the things you'll notice here is that Nick has a single metal spot versus my start position, which has 2 metal spots. So this is not an even map. It's not considered balanced at all. Now, so you can see we both quickly rush those out. We're both really short. Nick says he hates this side, and he is in the, well, he doesn't have the good advantage. Now, we see each other's raid. My first guy misses his 2 as they come by. You can see this map has got a lot of metal all over the place, but you got to get your seacons up to get to it because it takes Commander a really long time to walk to it. I'm actually stalling on building this metal extractor right now. One of the things it's interesting to notice is that the shipyard actually produces plus 0.5 metal. So even though I have no metal extractors, I'm making 1.5. Nick has got his finished, but my rush has gotten to him. I built an extra title, and that was part of the reason why I was stalling, whereas he didn't start building a 3rd title till later. He manages to push out another skeet. I'm trying to push down his energy. Titles make a lot on this map, if I recall correctly. They make 29. So that's why we're not going sonars like you might see in other maps. Titles are very, very efficient. And Nick's rush is being pretty successful, wiping out the titles. Mine's still shooting here. He's trying to defend with a skeet. I get a skeet out. He blasts all my titles. Core titles are bigger and fatter. And as a result, they are a little bit easier to hit than arm ones. But it looks like at the last second, I get all his titles too. See, we're fine on energy. What the real issue is we don't have a lot of metal. So I say, Nick's rebuilding his energy. Nick is wondering who wins that one. I say, I don't know. I say you do, actually. And in part, that's because he's got the wreck. Because my next max is so much closer, which is true. And right now, I'm just kind of idling as I'm building up enough resources on my plus 3.5. Now, he is building a sub, a lurker. They cost a lot. I don't remember exactly the exact number, but I think it's to the tune of around 800 or so. I'm saying I wish the shipyard makes a little energy with the metal it makes. But now I've got my titles up again. I've got my 2 metal extractors. I'm on 4.7. And Nick, you see, he's reclaiming his skeets and pushing that metal into this sub. So he's rushing this sub. I tell him I'm stalled on everything, so not to worry. You can see I'm pushing out a con. So he's taking the aggressive route. He reclaims yet another searcher. Tell him that he damaged my shipyard. How could he? So I know at the beginning of this I was talking about Phoenix Worx. I'm pushing out another con here, just really going for the building. Phoenix Worx was a place to play Total Annihilation, which had a map of planets, and each planet represented a map. And if you'd win a game against someone of the opposite side on that, then it would apply points towards that planet. And if enough points were won, then the planet would switch from either core to arm. So I tell him, don't you love my awesome strategy? I now have 3 cons out, and I'm working on a 4th. I tell him, now that I built all these skeets, you're not going to attack. So basically, I'm lying about what I have. I'm telling him I've got a lot of skeets out, and instead, I've mostly just pushed out a ton of cons. Actually, it looks like I stopped at the 2. Or the 3, rather. He's getting a con out, but really, he's just walking his commander, trying to get more metal. His sub, taking the slow road all the way across. So at Phoenix Worx, he's also saying he did reclaim one of my searchers while it was busy attacking the titles. One of the ways he ended up with a bit more metal. I just reclaimed one of my own searchers to push out yet another construction ship. So I'm planning on taking advantage of all this metal and expanding as quickly as possible. So how you got yourself to be worth more points in the Intergalactic War was to gain rank. And so you'd start out as a private, and as you won more games, you become a corporal, then a sergeant, a staff sergeant, and then you work your way through enlisted, and then you become an officer, a lieutenant, major, all the way up to colonel. So here the sub is shown up. Sorry, after colonel came commander, which was the highest one. Then once you became a commander, you get your text changed to blue if you were an armed commander, or core, red if you were a core commander. And I, being a core commander, earned myself the red text eventually. So I get this construction ship out, and I run. Now you wonder, what is my commander doing? I am running away, and I say, you would go fast, sub. I know that subs have a really short line of sight, so he can't see, and he's seeing these things on his radar, but he doesn't know where my commander is. What I'm doing is I'm running my commander over here, because these are shallow enough that I can stand. Now you can see I'm at plus 18 metal and he's at plus 10. So my strategy of expanding with construction ships and sending them far away from where the sub attacked has paid off. He's cleaned up all my energy. My commander is sitting here. So I can now D-gun if a sub shows up. I say, so now what? He says, you control D. I say, you come and reclaim my shipyard, because there's a nice chunk of metal right there. He's hunting. And he's finding the metal extractors. I tell him, oh, there goes all my metal mexes, basically trying to indicate that that's all the metal extractors I have. Not let him know, but I'm quickly expanding all over on the other side of the map. You can see as he's been walking his commander, building additional resources, he is using and turning some of that energy. Could you make this more depressing? Because now his skeets have shown up. He started attacking my con. He says I could pull your pants down. So Nick's feeling pretty good about his position right now. My metal, you can see it's gone down. I say, there goes my con ship. But I have pushed out an enforcer. And Nick realizes that things aren't as it seems. I say, it got me this fancy sub-killer thing. So how I got the metal to build that enforcer was I reclaimed my derelict shipyard. So now my original start position is vacant. I am now here. Nick's original start position still has his shipyard, but his commander has been doing the long walk to the northeast. So, and I just start pushing out more cons. Nick's building skeets, and he doesn't have another shipyard at this point. Building a ton of energy. Although our metal income is fairly even. I've got 1,000. Oh, no, sorry, that's the income right there. So yeah, I'm up 1 on him. I'm going to do that right there. Yeah, so I've got 2,000 metal on him. He's sending in his skeets for a big raid. He knows he needs enough to take down the enforcer. But I've got some skeets out to help screen. You can see now I'm pushing out nothing but construction ships from this shipyard. Nick is doing much the same. So I'm planning on doing the building strategy right here. You see, I've got hooked energy. I've got energy showing up all over the map. His sub is still going for a nice little roam. But again, me knowing that the line of sight on this is short, I start building a torpedo launcher. One torpedo hit, and that solves my problem. But the skeets will come in and they'll take out the torpedo launcher. So he now knows I've got cons all over the map. And I'm starting to put out a lot of searchers. He's doing the same here, but I have more factories than he does. Again, you can see him pushing out more construction. Sending these ships to cap. And you see what I do is I have them guard. One ship, I shift and I click the mexes, and then just to build up the speed at which they come on, I have a second ship guard it. So this one's going to now go to the next location with its buddy to help him build faster. Nick's just doing the one at a time thing. So I send searchers out, trying to find out where he's at. Nick Control-Z's his guys all the way back here because my little raid has found out where his new little base is. Take out a construction ship, but these guys are all going to get taken down and leave a decent amount of metal on his doorstep. He says, thanks for the metal. And I say, no problem. I've busy got my searchers running out looking for cons. And what I see is I see those dots on my deal underwater. So I kind of know, okay, there is something underwater right here. And so I'm looking for the con ship that is putting them out. On this map, the water's too deep. You can't do the little trick where you shoot the top of the metal extractor and destroy it. But my enforcer can go and clean up these metal extractors. You're probably thinking, wow, those skeets kind of built up rather quickly, and that is true. You see what I do is I have a one ship build the shipyard, and I have a second one come along and guard to double the speed at which the skeets are being produced. So I'm at, and you can see Nick has gone advanced. So he wants that extra long range from those Conquerors. I know that I eventually have got to go advanced as well. And he's coming down here to take out this Enforcer, which I was using to raid his mexes. I grab all the skeets I've got. I see he's doing the same thing. He's trying to overwhelm me. Now we create a little wreck field to fight over. We've got so many cons, you're getting idle. Now, these construction ships can reclaim mexes underwater. So when these show up two on top of it, I can actually see right here that there's one there, so I can hit reclaim and then click on my minimap and reclaim the metal extractor that's there. He sent a ship down to pick up this wreck field. I'm overwhelming him in a number of skeets because he went advanced earlier than I did. So this is a lot of skeets worth of metal that he is putting into these Conquerors. He says, what metal you on? I tell him I'm at 70. And he's actually at around 80 or so. He says, F me. See, I'm putting up these missile towers here to stop his cons from expanding and moving into my territory. Starting to build more cons, and I know what to do with, but I'm still cranking them out, having my commander guarded. Got my massive skeet army. And my enforcer gets caught out. Con gets caught out. I come crashing down on top of him. I see the Conquerors, so I know that he's gone advanced. So I try and push the skeet advantage. And he's taking advantage of, he wants to build up enough of these, because they can sit back, they have longer range than enforcers. You can see that they're just racking up the kills, because there's so many skeets, they're not able really to move. So they become sitting ducks for these conquerors. 3 kills, 7 kills, 4 kills. But I'm now on top of his base with my enforcer. I'm trying to take out these shipyards and then slow down his production. Nick is starting to farm titles. And I'm just trying to keep the conquerors away while my enforcer goes in and does the work down here. I take out his starting position. So it only took me 25 minutes, but I finally got him back for that sneaky sub in the beginning. We see how these conquerors, once he spies my enforcers, he's actually targeting it. And he sinks them. Now, one of the things you do with these big ships, because they will tend to get away from you if you leave them on maneuver, is with your shipyard, you'll click on it and then you'll set the orders to hold position. And that's to stop them from kind of running off on you, because once they get moving in a direction, it's really hard to stop. You can see how he's got enough of these, and he's really turned my skeet advantage away. So I realize this, but I know that my skeets are going to be faster, so try and send some things around. I've got these pairs of enforcers running around and attacking his metal production. Right now I'm at about 85 and he's around 80 metal. So he says lovely. He's got his ships pressing in and I'm in trouble. Doesn't really matter that I've got big time skeet production. He's got a really nice force of heavy cruisers. And he's just sinking. And my enforcer comes running up, decides it wants to commit suicide. Could also been a little lag there. Nick is from Australia. So at the time this was played, this game happened in 2008. So I was in the United States. There we go. So I'm trying to press in. I've got some more enforcers. And I start shelling one of these conquerors. But you can see the conquerors, they just have really tough armor. And it takes quite a bit for them to go down. This one's got 23 kills, 7, 11, 23, 12. I mean, they're just really racking it up. He sinks my enforcers. He doesn't lose a single conqueror over it, even though that one's really kind of close to dead. It's not likely that he's going to spend the time to try and repair it. This game is more about building, and he's got some idle cons. I've got uncapped metal in the back here because I'm desperately just trying to defend. Look at this. Boy, am I good at this game. All those idle construction units. You can see what I'm doing is I'm hooking titles and then also hooking these nice neat rows of metal makers, really trying to boost up my economy. I've also gone advanced. That is a warlord. This, my friends, is the ultimate ship, a giant core battleship with a heavy-duty laser and a long-range secondary weapon. The King of the Sea. Why don't you see them very often in most other games? They just aren't that, well, they're very, very, very expensive. But I know he's got this large conqueror group right here. I need something that's going to be able to push him back. I'm planning on attempting to use the warlords. Right now, I'm sending these skeets to certain death just to keep him back. I just sent all these cons in to just try and get some metal and do a little bit of capping, build some sonar, knowing that I had all those idle cons sitting around. I didn't want them doing nothing forever. So now I'm also reclaiming these big wrecks. You can see he's also down here. He's cleaning up this mess that we made earlier. And so now the sea line has pushed again, and we're back into the middle. I don't know why exactly he kind of fell back, but I think it's because he lost his screening skeets, and he wanted to regroup. See how without the skeets, the conquerors are starting to take more damage. Really just pressing him in. My first warlord is done. Continue to crank out enforcers. I've got a nice bunch right here. He's just holding back. You can see how long range these things are, just really taking advantage of that. And he's really using them very well. Again, just kind of see 24, 37 kills on that one. 40 on that one. 45. Yeah, they've really made their metals worth in damage. Nick sees the laser. And at this point, he's really pressing in. I pull my warlight back. You see how long range this laser is. I actually D-gun right there. Desperately just trying to hold him off. And he's just trying to sink these enforcers. Keeping my commander underwater at this point, using my skeets to keep the Conquerors away. And I don't know if I've still sunk... I don't know if I've sunk one yet. And then finally, after all this time, a Conqueror goes down. You can see just the shredding job that this Warlord is doing right here. And he's just starting to farm up his tidal farms as well. Now, one of the things is the rules at Phoenix Worx had a unit cap of 500. So I'm at 302 and Nick's at 327 right now. So that's something to be mindful of. Again, I think Nick is being a little timid here, but he's lost a lot of his Skeeter screening force. And I actually have enforcers here to screen for my Warlord. Busy reclaiming, and my comm is back to building infinite numbers of cons, which are busy either being idle or building a ton of titles. Trying to manage this. I don't want to lose these warlords. They're really the only thing that are keeping me safe at this point. But you can see I've started to really just kind of push things back right into the middle again. And we need these skeets for line of sight. And you can see how we also run them into each other, and that stops things. So if he doesn't keep these screening skeets right here, or if I don't do the same, I'm going to be able to drive my skeets into his Conquerors and stop them. And it takes them a while to accelerate. So, 2 warlords. Now, I'm also pushing out subs. See, I've got some con ships up here. I built some torpedo launchers, a few other things. He's got a ton of idle cons. Now, I know we were fawning over the Conqueror's kills. 20 kills on that warlord. 69 kills, nice, on this warlord right here. That is the Warlord 69. Feel free to use that as your next TA handle if you want to, and you can say you got it from this video. I'm continuing to raid and expand here, reclaiming his metal extractors. He's kind of stopped his building. He's really focusing in on this battle. But I've been able to break through his skeets. That's one thing that Warlords are really good at. See, they're this thing is just taking a beating, but I'm starting to really shred these Conquerors. See how fast they go down once they start getting hit by these lasers. This Conqueror's out of position. I'm still sending in enforcers, and he's not really using Crusaders at all to his advantage. He is starting to build some Colossuses out of another advanced shipyard. I'm building advanced construction. So he's sending these subs down in here, raiding me, and that's why I've got this sub right here. I've got it on sonar. I get the first shot off. This piranha goes down, mine goes down. That's a fine trade for me. I'd rather have a sub in the back of my base dead if I have to lose mine. So I brought this warlord back and had it repaired, so I still have these 2 warlords up front. I'm at 139 metal, and Nick's at 149, so he's outproducing me at this point. But I seem to have more guys working around in this wreck field. Nick says you're not allowed to win. Especially, you got to keep in mind, at the beginning of this game, he wiped me out. He feels a little entitled to the victory, perhaps. I'm busy focusing on building at this point. And now, I've also done something interesting you've probably not seen in a lot of TA games. I built a seaplane platform. There's no place to build air here, so there's not going to be hawk swarms. But I am building Typhoons. These are expensive but neat little guys that have 2 torpedo launchers and a missile. He says one of his conquerors has 69 kills. I say paltry. Although I should have just said nice. I say 97, and that's the number of kills that one of my warlords has here. Sorry, this one has 124 kills. So it's just a super veteran warlord, just pounding away, killing skeets. He spies it. And I take out another conqueror. And here he goes. He's finally brought in some crusaders to help him push it. So you can see we've got a bunch of empty metal patches. He's kind of reclaimed this area down here. Building more shipyards. And he's kind of got this nice, tidy, compact base, whereas I'm just all over the place with these titles. I built yet another seaplane platform. Say stupid skeets, they're getting in the way of my warlord, which I am trying to run away from the Conqueror shells right there. And I say, ugh, stupid skeets. And down goes my warlord. And the captain goes down with the ship. So that was a nice turn for Nick right there. Actually, I think I lost 2 of the warlords. We got more coming in. But I need at least a pack of 3, really, to be able to keep going. So the warlord is just the big battleship. He's not building Millenniums. They're not very good compared to Conquerors, just for the cost. But I'm continuing to keep them at bay here because I've got a decent number of enforcers and skeeters, plus the ships are damaged from battling with the warlord. So my one remaining battle-hardened warlord sits on 72 kills right now. And he's kind of pushed things back. Again, we're just kind of watching the line just shift around this little middle section right here. Bring another warlord up. Now, I'm just having these guys be built, and they are just setting down right here. So you can see I've got 6 of them. He doesn't have a lot of air defense, although the skeets are good air defense. There's really nothing. There you go. I catch some of these cons up, but then I control Z. He says, damn the unit limit. So he is there, and that's one of the reasons why he switched. He says there should be underwater mohos. One of the reasons why he's gone to Colossuses. I don't believe I've done that yet myself. That's something I'm going to need to do because I'm very close to the unit limit. Warlords are back in range, firing away. See, I've just got these construction ships with it, repairing them as they get shot. The lasers just pegging this thing. See how the ships get hung up on each other? They don't accelerate quickly. I'm just building more. I want my ski production to be a little closer to the front. I'm at 170 metal. Nick's at 180. And Nick is ahead by about 10k. This warlord gets caught out. Down she goes. Another warlord caught out. I say that one had 115 kills. See, I'm just repairing these, trying to keep them alive as long as possible. Idle cons. Nick says keyword had. He's taunting me over my the loss of my my flagship. My commander continues to push out idle cons. And I'm just really busy trying to micromanage this battle. I don't know if that was the best use of my time, but I think it was important to make sure that I keep my warlords alive as long as possible, especially as he's building up this really big fleet Conquerors. He spies the shipyard down here. It looks like he's coming down to try and clean it up. Warlords using their long-range guns on this guy. So his Crusaders now are starting to act more as meat shields for his Conquerors, so I think that's much better use of his unit. One of the reasons why I put their shipyard really close to is I know that shipyards take a while to kill, and sometimes will absorb shots. Another Warlord evaporates. The wreckage won't appear on top of the coral. So sometimes the ships will just blow up, like this specific kind of coral right here, whatever that is. I am building a massive fleet of subs just south of his base. And by massive, it looks like I've got 5 of them at this point. He's really pressing in, so I realize I'm going to have to draw him off. Continue to build up more and more of these Typhoons. I'm right up against the limit right now. And I'm just using these ships to repair while it's getting shelled, and it's getting to shoot back. While these guys are all focused in on a Warlord, then my Enforcers can actually come into range and start to take them out. You can see how fast 3 Warlords take down enemy ships at this point. And Nick, I think that is just a blunder right there. He gets his Conquerors too close and gets his entire Navy wiped out. You can see the line has moved now. When we were over here and now we're over here. Just shifting back and forth. And part of the reason why we're not going elsewhere is as soon as he takes these ships, he tries to send them somewhere else, then these guys are going to roll over that wreck field and come right into his base. Nick is starting to send out his raiding sub-party. He had much the same idea. Planning on taking out my metal extractors. Four Warlords. And he's only got 4 Conquerors here to counter. So, advantaged core here. He says, Sec, I say Warlords are so much fun, and they certainly are. I mean, from my perspective, I just see these guys just sending lasers in, shredding them. And Nick says, no, they're not fun. These Conquerors are getting sunk. So once again, I've started to push him back. 5 Warlords now. Now, Warlords don't have any sub-defense, so that's one of the reasons why I've definitely got to have Enforcers around as well, in case he decides to send some subs in. Whereas Conquerors, they have a depth charge, so they're able to defend themselves against subs. I'm reclaiming these wrecks. He's got this horde of subs that are coming around here. And he manages to drop a Warlord. And I have deployed the Typhoons. You can see what they do is they just drop all these torpedoes. He now is aware of what I've got. I start sending in my sub-attack. And so there they go. I'm also sending this giant, massive amount of Typhoons over into his base. I'm hoping to either I find a commander or find some big-time resources. My subs, I found the Colossuses. So you can see they're shooting the missile, just dropping all these torpedoes all over the place. I find his factories, and what I'm doing is I'm attacking and shooting for that corner right there. Now I want to avoid skeets, because they're relatively weak to skeets. He says I've lost. I find his resources. You can see just all the torpedoes that they drop. Next commander, he went ahead and he cloaked it. I say shoot all, because my subs are up in his base. and my main navy has won its fight. He's actually come down here to wipe out my little sub base. But these subs are all up in his business. And I am able to send my Typhoons, because he didn't bring his skeets down with it. My Typhoons are able to come in and just start sinking his navy. You can see, like, as I'm, like, hovering them there, the ships are actually able to hit them with their main guns. That's one of the things I always liked about Total Annihilation, was that the everything shot at everything. There wasn't a situation in which you didn't have units that weren't shooting. Now, you might be wondering, why aren't these guys shooting? We don't have line of sight. You know, and that line of sight actually looks a little big. Yeah, it looks big for subs. There might be some kind of mod that we've got, that something's going on right now that makes it look bigger. Nick says he can't believe he lost it because of the darn warlords. That's in part, but also he didn't, I don't think he was anticipating the Typhoons. They didn't do that much damage. He says 2 games in a row he can't believe he lost. So we are an hour and 5 minutes in right now. And I will, I'll go ahead and I'll 31, 72, 16. He says he got a little bit lazy, and I do agree with that. I did end up just kind of outbuilding him. There you go. So you can see how here now he sent his navy around on a different angle, and so I know I'm free just to press him. He's built a seaplane platform, but it's too little too late. I'm already building up more Typhoons, and he surrenders. Well, there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is Brain Coral. And even though it is unbalanced, and again, Cave Dog, I think these maps came with Battle Tactics. It was Battle Tactics or Core Contingency. You can see that just Cave Dog, on a lot of these maps, they just didn't know. I mean, they just didn't feel the need to make them balanced, which I just think is really, really weird. But that's just what they decided to do. So, yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. One of the things I do want to say, and definitely want to shout out as well, I've seen a lot of comments, questions asking, okay, well, where can I play TA? What can I do if I want to get into it? I would definitely check out Total Annihilation Universe. That's the go-to place for all the Total Annihilation resources. People currently play on Game Ranger, although original Total Annihilation, or OTA as it's known, is not as common as the most popular mod, which is Escalation, which I do recommend. I think it's very fun. Wotan's been putting a lot of work into it for a really, really long time. It's not TA in that it plays differently, but it's still fun, and the TA-ness of it, the aspects that it's got, it hangs on to a lot of the good aspects of it. So I certainly think it's fun and worth checking out, especially if you like bigger units, bigger robots, and bigger explosions. He's not joking when he called it Escalation. There's a competitive scene for it as well, so if you want to get good and try and take Harold down a peg, you guys are more than welcome to. So, and last thing, of course, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and be sure to smash like as well. Leave a comment if you want to make fun of all the idle cons that I had while I was going ahead and building, and you want to talk strategy as well, I'm certainly happy to. Anyway, you guys take care of yourselves, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.